and recording.
Great. So there's either the user will download through the Apple App Store or through Google Play, and they'll get an icon similar to this that'll live on their phone. It's a mobile app. So they'll click on that, bring up the application itself. Each user will have an individual email and login for themselves. It's got to be user specific. When they log in to start a new form, they'll click on Forms and see all the forms that's available to them. In this case, Ohio Electric. They'd start a new form. It defaults to today's date. They select their agent ID from the list. Let's just pick 1350. It'll populate their name just so they know they have the right info. All the other info like their team, their email, their cell phone number, all that populates behind the scenes. They then will select a number of accounts to enroll. I'll just do 2 so you can see what that looks like. And whether it's resident or business, they click on this little next button. So now we get into the customer information section, and they would just navigate through it. If they had, like the user had any apartments or anything, they would just put that in here. I'm going to put in my cell phone just so that no messages go out. And then they just select, is this a cell phone, yes or no? And the email address, I will, Nick, I'm going to put your email address in so that you can get a copy of the form so you see what it looks like. Click on Next. Okay. Select the utility name. From the drop-down, filters by state. So we'll just start with Duke. Populates utility ID, gives a little hint of where they need to look for the information. Then they look at utility account number. So they enter in the required number of digits, which would be 10 in this case. When they check off, it defaults to true. If it still says false, it means that they entered the wrong number of digits and it didn't pass validation. Displays the rate for that particular utility in that area, as well as the rate term, which in this case is 6 months. Neither of these are editable since these are provided by Verde. If there's a second utility, this will populate. If there's only one, there'll only be one, and if there's 3, 4, 5, you'll have a different section for each. You have to enroll only in the same utility, so they would just enter in their second account number. Click off, updates to true, so you know it's good, and then you can select whether it's the same service address or not. Either it's yes, or let's say it's not. You then have additional fields that you would fill in. Click the next. At this point, the agent would hand the phone or the tablet to the customer. The customer should be completing this section. Please contact me. So these are the authorizations, right? So contact me by email, yes or no. Want to receive monthly updates in newsletter, yes or no. Contact me on my mobile number if it was a cell phone that was provided, yes or no. We confirm that the customer's email address is correct, so the customer actually sees it here, and the customer will say, yes, I confirm that that's correct. Say the customer sees that I'm in Duke Energy, this is my new rate, this is my new term. The TOS code corresponds to what's on the paper hard copy that your agents would have, and then the customer would say, I agree to the TOS and the rate and the term, so they would hit agree. They then would click on this little button and sign with their finger and click check. Once everything's filled in, the agent would click the big check mark on the top, and the form has been submitted. And that's the entire process. Nick, in any second here, I'd say within 10 or 15 seconds in most cases, the application sends out an email to the customer directly, which auto-populates a copy of the ESA. So they'll get a copy of the ESA with all the information filled in and their signature.
Scott, I already received that email.
Perfect. If you open it up, you should see the current ESA that has all the information we just put in, filled in, as well as your signature, and that goes directly to the customer. And we just would want to make sure that the customer receives that. At the same time, and I'll just show you the customer. Oh, let me sign back in. The customer data also populates into Velocify. So this will get assigned to one of our users automatically, and they'll make a call out. So it's creating the PDF to the customer and posting into the CRM to start the TPV process so that there's no need to call in.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we actually received a copy of the ESA as well to our FTP site as well.
Okay, looks great. One question I had during that presentation, Scott, if there was a rare situation where there was a multiple enrollment with the customer and they had 2 accounts, yet they're in different utilities, is that going to require two separate submissions?
Yeah, that's a business rule that Verde decided on, and so the only time you can use the same one is if it's the same utility, and that you could add on multiple accounts, but anytime you cross over utilities, it's a new submission.
Okay.
Correct.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Nick, how do you think, just given what the reps have used in the past as far as apps, how do you think that they'll respond to this app? Do you think it's user-friendly? Do you think that they're going to have, an easy time kind of getting used to using it?
Yeah, I think it's very simplistic. And